stereotype is that teenagers today are spoiled and lazy.
I don't really try to do like community service projects, and I don't care about politics.
We are busy. I mean, with school, some people do find the time, but it's just...
They're boring.
As teenagers, a lot of people think you're concerned with yourself a lot, and I think it really says a lot when you show that you're not really self-centered and that you care about other people in the community as well.
We had this little thing, we walked around these neighborhoods picking up all the trash and stuff.
We actually went on a church mission to Nicaragua last year for poverty-stricken people.
Well, I did, that Habitat for Humanity. I've done that several times, and then, help building with the houses and stuff like that.
Setting up love and local impact.
Like 9th or 10th grade, wasn't too much going to class, was skipping school, hanging out with my homeboys, not doing a lot of work. I was getting in trouble. When I was 13, my daddy left the house, and you try to bottle it up, but you can't bottle it up too much because it's hurting somebody when your father's been there for 13 years, and all of a sudden he's just not there anymore. I didn't realize it back then, but I realize it now. I had a lot of anger, like I was getting in trouble in school for no reason, just trying to take out my anger somewhere else.
But Ettoro's main outlet, football, was cut off when his mom told him he couldn't play again until he got his life in order. That's when he met Jason Mercer, his mentor, and a leader at the Boys and Girls Club.
I guess you could say I came along at the right time, because he didn't really have that male figure consistently in his life.
My mom, she didn't let me play sports anymore. Jason was the one I could talk to about it, and he told me what I needed to do. I get my grades right and start showing her that I can be responsible by volunteering and stuff.
I push them to help others in the community because I really believe when you make others happy, you're happy.
So every time he'll go help feed the homeless, I'll be right behind him trying to help feed the homeless.
I saw a lot of him in me, a lot of me in him.
Turn that anger around into helping out. Instead of being so angry at somebody else, why don't you go out and help them out? What's up, man? How you doing, man? You all right, man? Like the club, man? Yeah. Y'all like it? Y'all like going swimming? Volunteering first, I was just trying to get back to playing sports again, playing football at school, and I wasn't too much worried about the people I was affecting. I was just trying to get back with my mom so she would let me play sports. But, after you do so much, you can't help but to start loving it because you see the people's lives you changing. And it's been like a big, big, big difference in my life, too. How long y'all been coming? Come on now, let's go. Level 2 swimmers, put your head to the side. Who's level 2 swimmers? Just working with the kids, they just, you don't realize it till it's over how much they affect you. And they affect you. You get so attached to them that you don't want to let them go. Good job, man. Good job, man. Good job, man. Good job. This is a young man who came to one of our camps who was kind of nervous at first. His first time being away from home. He was a little smaller than everybody else, and the kids, kind of picked on him being kids. And, he was trying to cry and go home the first day. And so what I did, I kind of talked to him, trying to be a little big brother.
By the end of the camp, Ettoro says the young man had changed completely.
He was full of life, all the kids were enjoying him. And I got a picture with me and him, and we throwing the peace sign, so he's looking cool on the camera.
For him to, at this point, be doing things with kids, that touches my heart because I definitely feel, he can say, oh, Jay, you did this, but for him to do really lets me know that he was listening.
Ettoro, you fine, man. We just come and talk to you about registering for vote. Are you a registered voter? Come on, why not, man? You know the importance of voting, man. That's like the biggest thing, because a lot of people complain about the situation they're in, but they don't take steps to change the situation they're in. So when problems occur in our neighborhood, we can get together and tell them we all voted for somebody. You know what I'm saying? All right, man. Look for you to vote, man. All right, man. Take care, man. All right, Lou. Because people, especially teens, we don't realize how strong our voice is, and we don't always step up when we need to.
Ettore says football is a distant memory now and intends to work for the Boys and Girls Club full-time after he graduates from college.
Okay, and you have Boys and Girls Clubs on?
Yes, I love football. I emailed you that too. Because growing up in the club, I've been able to go a lot of places, do a lot of things with a lot of people. A lot of people sacrifice a lot of time for me to be where I'm now, and I feel like now that I'm in a position to give back, it's probably my time. I see you in the water, man. You're doing a good job. I know what's up.
I think our generation is like, it seems a lot more like we need more, like there needs to be more role models in the community. So in a sense, I think if you get out and you become successful, and I think you should go back to your community and give something back so kids will remember you.
I mean, there's so many different parts in community service. It's not just helping kids or helping the homeless. I mean, it's also picking up trash, like Habitat for Humanity.
Or planting trees and such. People were like, well, be a good Samaritan and help out your fellow man and da-da-da-da. And it seems today like everybody is like, watch out for number one.
We're definitely not as hands-on, I think, as maybe generations before us.
I don't know, I sort of get more out of helping someone that I know or that I've seen before, as opposed, I don't get the same out of what some people do for, volunteer.
It's very impactful. You get to see people's faces. You get to see the reactions of, like, the community or in that little section, like what they did.
It's really cool when you see like a change in a kid that you talk to, and like they do what you like if you gave them some advice and you see it like in action, that's the best feeling in the world.
I didn't really want to do the first one, and I guess that's where it came from, is I was forced to do, not forced, but not given much of a choice. I had a closed mind about it. I thought it'd be a bunch of dorks up on a roof, doing a sloppy job of what a professional could easily do.
My husband and I talked about it a great deal before we really pushed, and we really pushed.
I went kicking and screaming. My parents made me.
In this family, volunteering isn't a choice. For the past 3 years, Ben Coppage has spent his summers helping to build homes for Habitat for Humanity.
I don't know if it's any one thing that makes me want to do this. It's a combination of many things. It's just fun. You'd really be surprised. A lot of kids say, how can you think all that stuff's fun? They choose to go out and drink and do all other kinds of stuff to have fun. We weren't, going to some theme park or, getting paid or anything for this, but it surprises a lot of kids after they go on it, because from the outside looking in, it doesn't look like much fun, but from the inside looking out, you never want to quit doing it.
Hammering nails, sawing wood all day long, and for no pay. Why?
One of the main parts about it is the friends you make, up on the roofs or in some house you're fixing up, doing renovation work. You learn a lot more than how to hammer a nail and put up sheetrock and stuff. You learn, it gives a lot of perspective to your life, but also you could, realize other people's needs and kind of give back to the community.
Ben has a little poster up in his room that says, stand up for what's right even if you're standing alone. And that was a gift to him from his sister because she felt like it kind of just was him.
You've got to put yourself and get yourself out of your comfort zone. Otherwise you're not going to grow. You stay in your comfort zone your whole life, you're going to stay the same size your whole life and never chance to grow. You have to put yourself on the edge to, I think, to make a difference and to further yourself.
When he was 16, he volunteered because his parents forced him. Now, 3 years later, his parents couldn't stop him if they tried. Ben Coppage has changed.
At some point, you have to take responsibility for yourself and say, I'm old enough to make this decision, and I need to start giving back to the community instead of just receiving from it. And at some point, I do think it's very important that the team takes that lead and says, okay, this is my project now. It's really kind of an indescribable feeling. It's very hard to put into words. It's just such a great feeling. It's really hard to put into words, and it's just a wonderful feeling. And my thought was, I'm proud of the job we did, and I'm glad we could help out.
We had a program where I'm sure a lot of other schools had it too. You had to do mandatory community service hours and things like that.
You're talking about community service hours being mandatory. Do you think it should always be mandatory?
I don't think so, no.
Well, it's mandatory to go in line with, the teaching of my school, But, once you go there and you do these things, you kind of see that this is something that you don't mind doing. And then you can go on your own and find other things to do without them having to be mandatory. So I think it helps the kids who need the push in the right direction.
I mean, it still helps the community whether you want to do it or not, but I don't think you should be forced to.
Well, I think you get more out of it though if you're doing it for out of your free will and not out of obligation.
I think that, of course you can go to a community service and you can enjoy it, and that can be a reason why you keep going back. But there's also like an obligation for you to be doing these type of things, for you to go to places where you can help people who don't have as much as you. I mean, I think it's everyone's responsibility who have more to help those who have less.
But what you should do and what you have to do are two different things. You should help other people, and you should try to better your community, and you should try to make yourself a better person, and in doing so help the people around you, but you don't have to do any of that. That's where the difference is. When you're obligated to, sure, that obligation makes you start to do it, but what makes you continue doing it? Because you want to. That's why it's called volunteering. You do it voluntarily of your own accord.
¿Mi familia? Hola, sí, habla Becky. We sell telephone cards, we rent movies, we sell CDs, it's everything. It's food especially. A lot of people miss the Mexican food, so here's the place. Eat it, 6 centavos.
17-year-old Becky Flores knows what it's like to be misunderstood. An immigrant, Becky came to America with her family 10 years ago from Mexico.
It's so hard not knowing English. It's so hard. I was there, 3rd grade. I remember it perfectly. I went into the classroom and my teacher was like, stand up and just say your name, say anything you can in Spanish. And I walked up there and I looked at everybody, new faces, and I was so scared. And in a way I felt bad because I was speaking Spanish and I was like, but they don't understand me. It's worthless.
So for her mom and dad, Becky has to translate. Phone calls, shopping trips, letters in the mail.